Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. This video I've got something for the Star Wars fans, and that is Hot Toys Jedi Master Kit Fisto. So let's see what we've got inside. So here is the figure. He doesn't really come with much, but Jedi Masters usually don't. I've already removed all the plastic stuff from him. So he's a very top-heavy figure. His shoulder doesn't have too much forward. Well, I guess if you force it, it does move. Yeah. It's got pretty good leg movement, except for backwards. So his head it'll tilt forward, but then that looks weird. But you really can't move it backwards or sideways. So he has very limited head movement. Also, the head is not removable. So this is wired through here. Then on this is not wired. So he also has a robe that's underneath the clamshell. And what's really weird about this, one, he's got a hood that you can't use with this head. So why does he have a hood? But also it's wired on the top, and I just don't understand the purpose of that. But anyway, besides the Frankenstein hands he comes with, that comes on the figure. On his right, we've got another somewhat relaxed hand, and then a lightsaber gripping hand, then another gesturing hand for the left, and then we've got some hands that have the glove and armor on them to go with the gauntlets, and that's from the Clone Wars series that fit over his sleeve. So and then we've got a USB lightsaber hilt, and then a non-powered lightsaber hilt, along with a green swooshing blade and a regular blade. So the instruction sheet shows the wire for the USB lightsaber going hidden in his gauntlet. However, I think I could undo his belt and manage to get the wire in his outfit and have it coming out at the bottom here to better hide it. So the one thing I will say that I wish the head sculpt had him grinning, because in episode 2, when we saw him there, he was grinning, and throughout most of the Clone Wars he was grinning. So I mean, that's what I remember about him. I'm sure he wasn't grinning when he was confronting Palpatine, but I think I would have preferred to have the grinning face. So, but anyway, let's put him together and see what he looks like. So here's my figure posed. I really like this figure, glad I got him. But to be honest, there are some issues with it. One is, I think I mentioned it earlier, he's rather top heavy. with this head sculpt with all the tentacles on the back. And he's got relatively small feet, so he's a little bit unsteady on his feet. Another issue was getting his robe on with all these tentacles back here. It was somewhat of an ordeal trying to get the robe on up over his arms and underneath. And again, there's the issue of the hood. Why does he have a hood? And more importantly, why is it wired? It serves no purpose. But also the robe, there's not enough room to get the robe underneath these two front tentacles, so the robe kind of sits on the ends of his shoulder, which means the sleeves hang down over his hands, so you have to fuss with them some. He does have this nice shape to the sleeves, though. Another thing, I was going to put the wire for his USB saber through his sleeve, hide it inside the sleeve. I was able to do that. It was fairly easy, but the wire was not long enough to then fit onto the box, the USB box, which is on the post. Usually the wire on these USB lightsabers is pretty long, but for some reason this one wasn't. So I ended up having the wire outside his sleeve, but the robe still hides it, so it wasn't really that much of an issue. So another thing, one more item, as I was fussing with the robe and trying to pose him, the legs on more than one occasion came out from under me, so that was an issue. But I did finally get him in this pose. He'll probably always be in this pose. Not sure which position to put his hand with the lightsaber in, but there you have it, Kit Fisto. Nice figure, I think, but like I said, he does have some issues. And it'll just be another figure. Will probably never repose him. It'll just sit up there with all the other Jedi. So, thank you for watching, and hope you enjoyed it.